Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, or hello if you're new. In today's video, we are talking all about Instagram, specifically how to grow when you are just starting out. So I started my journey on Instagram in November of 2020, and from there to pretty much today, I've gained 1,000 followers. So obviously I'm not anything special on Instagram. I am just trying to grow, but these are tips and tricks that I have learned so far, things that I've read while kind of educating myself on the algorithm, and things that I think that you could really benefit from. So I really hope that you enjoyed today's video, and with all that being said, let's get into it. So the first thing we're talking about is setting up your page. So the first thing that I recommend is having your face in your profile picture and your name front and center on your page. So the reason for this is because humans relate to other humans. So if I click on your page and I right away see your face, I know what you look like, and I see your name, so I know what your name is, I feel like I kind of know you. And you're gonna see that really common with a lot of your followers and your future followers. They're going to see you right off the bat, see you as just another human and someone who's relatable, and they're gonna be more inclined to follow you. Now, the next thing is your bio, your little description underneath your name. And this is a great way to express yourself and tell people right off the bat what you do, who you are, things that you promote, or your niche, things like that. But also this is gonna serve as a keyword box for your SEO, your search engine optimization. So for me, if I was looking for other fellow YouTubers that I wanted to follow and go support, I would start typing in YouTube in my search box, and people who have YouTube in their name or their bio are gonna start popping up first. So Instagram's gonna start recommending them to me based on that interest being in their bio. So anything that you can use in that way, keywords or niches like that, is definitely a smart idea to put in your bio. And then also, last thing is we're gonna set up our page as a business account. This is gonna open up a lot of different features and just kind of take your account to the next level that we'll talk about a little bit later. But the first thing in setting up your page is it's going to give you the feature to add a website to your bio. So this is great if you do have a website or a product that you sell, or if you're like me and you just have other social medias and things like that. You could put a link tree. So my link tree is right there in my bio, and it'll take you to my other social medias. It will take you to my Etsy store, my YouTube channel, my commission links, and things like that. So it could be a great thing to just kind of like anybody who's showing up on your page, it can kind of drive them to other places if that's what they're interested in. All right, this next one is going to be a lot to unpack, so stay with me. But posting consistently is important because each time you post, it gives your followers an opportunity to gain more interest in you. And interest is a very good thing. So interest is something created by the Instagram algorithm that is basically just how much time your followers spend on your content, basically. So individually, if you post one time a week and one of your followers, we'll just say it's Sally, she sees your post and she spends 4 minutes just kind of looking at it, maybe she engages with it, maybe she doesn't, Instagram's gonna put her into a kind of scale of how much interest she has in you. But other people who might post 4 times a week that she only spends 1 minute at a time looking at their content, it's gonna appear that she has more interest in them, even though she's actually spending more time on your content. It's because you're posting less frequently. So if you're posting more frequently and people are spending more time on your content, engaging with it or not, just looking at it, it's gonna appear that they are more interested in your content than other people that they follow, which is gonna help you in so many different ways. But one of those ways is it's going to push your content to them first. So when they first hop on the app, it's gonna be your stories that appear first in line, even if your story is older than others, and it's gonna show your feed to them first. So every time you post content on just your regular Instagram feed, it's going to initially send that out to people who have the most interest in you. And then if it does well there, they will push it out to maybe your followers who have a little bit less interest in you. And if it still does well there, then Instagram will basically just continue pushing it out to more and more people, and hopefully ultimately landing you on the explore page, which is going to be very important, and we're going to talk about it very soon. So not only is posting consistently important, but posting at the right time is equally as important. So since we switched your account to a business account in the last couple of steps, this is going to open up what is called your insights, which is basically all of your analytics on your followers and your content. So right in your analytics at the very bottom, it's going to show you how many of your users are active per day and per hour. So for me personally, my analytics don't really change on a day-to-day basis, but if you look at my user accounts on per hour, it's going to show you that there's a huge lump of users that are on during the middle of the day. And so based on my analytics, which I'll have here on the screen, the optimal time for me to post would be at 6 a.m. or right after 6 a.m. And the reason for this is because most of my users start hopping on at that time, and I want to be before all of my users are on. So instead of posting right in the middle of the day and missing all those people who are on in the morning, I want to post right before that lump starts. In turn, what this is going to do is as people are hopping on and they're seeing your content and they're engaging with it, it is going to boost your post in the algorithm because you're getting all of that views and that engagement right off the bat. And this is important because the more engagement that you get early on, the farther your post is going to go, which is ultimately hopefully going to reach onto the explore page. Now, what is the biggest difference between the regular Instagram feed and the explore page is that on your regular Instagram feed is only the people that you follow, while the explore page is people who you don't follow but you're probably still interested in based on the algorithm. So on your explore page, it's going to show you things that the Instagram algorithm thinks that you might enjoy or might be interested in, but that you do not follow, which is a great place for your content to be for other people because it's going to allow new users to find your content and ultimately find your page and hopefully follow you. Creating shareable and savable content is going to be so important in the new Instagram algorithm. This is because liking and commenting are now less favorable compared to sharing and saving. So to make some shareable and savable content, you can do things like having a longer caption. Although I do want to warn you to stay clear from sounding like you are preaching or ranting because those seem to do unwell. But doing things like telling a story or being educational, motivational, inspirational, things like that will do well because people will either want to share it with their friends or they'll want to save it so they can come back to it later, which of course is going to tell Instagram that people are really liking your content and therefore boosting it in the algorithm. Things like hashtags and location tags are going to be really helpful in finding that organic growth. But first of all, let's talk about hashtags. So hashtags are really important because people can obviously search hashtags. And when they do that, it's going to show them the most relevant posts first. So you want your hashtags to be really fitting and suitable for you. And if you're having a hard time coming up with which hashtags to use, what I recommend is just going on and searching hashtags and seeing what hashtags kind of result in the most relatable content or things that fit your niche the best. And then you know you have a really great hashtag. But then to take it one step further, once you find a post that is most accurately similar to yours, you can go on that and see what other hashtags they're using and kind of search on those as well. And hopefully you'll just start to gain a little bit of a feel of what hashtags feel right for you. But if you're still having a hard time coming up with hashtags, I recommend an app called Hashtag Expert. And what this does is it allows you to put in one hashtag and then it gives you several other suggestions that are similar or relevant to that hashtag. And then also locations. Obviously, this is going to be important for finding that organic growth. People who are searching location are going to find you. And pretty much, in my opinion, hashtags and locations are kind of the last resort you can use to find organic growth because getting on the Explore page is so hard, but using hashtags and locations is really easy. Anybody can do it and people can find you through that who have relevant kind of interests or in similar niches, and then they can follow you. Instagram stories is not only a great way to grow, but it's also a great way to connect with your following. So remember earlier when I was talking about interest? Well, that definitely applies here as well because the more time people are spending on your stories, the more interest they're therefore gaining in the algorithm. And the algorithm is going to see them as being kind of like a fan of yours and having more interest in your content. So not only posting on your stories, but having engaging stories is really important as well. So if you've ever been scrolling through your stories and you've seen people playing this or that, or would you rather, and using those polls, that is them creating engaging stories. And this is really important because as people are watching your stories and engaging with them, it is therefore increasing your page. Instagram's gonna see them as enjoying your content more, so it's gonna push it out to them more often. But also, if you've noticed on Instagram stories, sometimes it starts to suggest to you the same people over and over again, no matter how old their story is. And that's because they have determined that you have more interest in those people. So if you watch my story every single time, you engage with it, you like it, maybe you share it with friends, or maybe you don't, maybe you just watch it, but it's something that you're consistently watching and engaging in, then Instagram is going to say, hey, this person really likes her stories, so we're going to keep her story at the top of the line all the time. So that is basically how it works. And therefore it's kind of like a domino effect where the more frequently you're posting, the more interest they are gaining on you. But then also every time that you post a story or post a feed, it's going to be shot out to them right away, first off. And again, like we kind of talked about before, the more engagement you're getting really early on in your post, including your stories, the farther it's gonna go. So one of the ways that I try to play around with my story and make it a little bit more interesting or engaging is by creating my own Instagram story backgrounds, my own Instagram stickers, and of course playing those games like this or that, would you rather, polls, questions, quizzes, things like that are gonna be really helpful. I create all of my own Instagram story backgrounds, and when I'm done using them, I sell them on my Etsy store for just a couple of bucks. I usually do a set of 12 for like $1.80, so they're really inexpensive, but they're super easy and super fun to create your own Instagram story backgrounds, and therefore it's a little bit more visually stimulating for your followers, and then you can play around with your polls and your quizzes and get them engaging in your content. So similarly to interest, there are things called relationships now in the Instagram algorithm. And in the algorithm, these are valued way more than interest. So relationships are people who mutually follow each other and mutually support each other's content. And this is really important because Instagram's gonna see this as you both really like your content. So it's gonna be like 2 times as impactful as people who just have interest in you. But as I talk about in all of my social media videos, more than just trying to beat the algorithm by making fake relationships, I think it is so incredibly important to genuinely connect and meet people and befriend people and genuinely support each other. I feel like there's absolutely nothing more valuable than growing on social media than making those mutual relationships and genuine friendships. I hear the question all the time, is Instagram too saturated or too competitive? And while yes, it is a little bit more saturated than it has been in the past, I definitely do not think that it is more competitive because again, community over competition. Just because there are other people trying to grow on social media, that just means that there's other people who are, able and probably willing to follow you. I genuinely think that having these genuine and real friendships where you mutually support each other is going to be so much more beneficial than just trying to find people to follow and support you, period. I think that having mutual support is going to help boost you right in the algorithm because nobody knows how to boost your post more than people who are trying to boost their own posts. So one of my favorite ways to find like-minded girls who want to mutually support each other on social media is through Facebook support groups. So one of my favorite is called Social Media Influencers, and basically what this group is a bunch of people who are trying to grow on Instagram primarily, and we share tips and tricks, we ask advice for each other, and we also get to play fun games like flash liking, and there are some forums where we get to just kind of introduce ourselves and find people who are similar to us or in the same niche to follow each other, and it's just been such a helpful resource to not only find people to make friends with, but also to find people to mutually follow and help grow on social media. One of my other ways that I have found super helpful is those follow train messages. And basically the way that it works is it starts with 10 people and each of those 10 people adds 5 people and then they all follow each other, and then the moderator or the admin will say, first 10 people to say happy Monday, move on to the next round. And then those 10 people move on, the rest get bumped from the messages, and then it just kind of repeats itself. Each person adds 5 people, they all follow each other, and then they go on to the next round, and after that, and after that. And it's super fun to meet new people who are trying to grow on social media and just kind of make those friendships and those genuine connections. But there are a couple of downsides to this. Number one is that not everybody wants to participate, which is fine. They just kind of get shuffled out with the next round. But the other thing is that it can be extremely hard, if not impossible, to find these messages unless you are personally invited. So now that I've been in a couple of them, I've made friends with some admins and some moderators. So if you do want to participate in these type of follow trains, I think is what they're called, just let me know on Instagram. I'm happy to add you with the next round or show you to the admin or the moderator who hosts these games and you can chat with them. But it's definitely some really fun games. I think that it's really great to meet new people and to find like-minded people who are trying to grow on social. So I have a lot of fun with them. Not everybody does, but I definitely do. And my last tip for you is to just keep going. I know that it can get discouraging or difficult, and I have heard it time and time again where people aren't seeing the growth that they would like, and so they start to feel discouraged. And my best word of advice for you is to just keep posting, keep being consistent, keep being yourself, and the followers will come, the success will come if you believe in it. I know it sounds really cheesy, but I am a firm believer in the law of attraction, and I think as long as your thoughts and your positivity is out there in the world, it will come back to you. And I read a statistic somewhere, and I couldn't find it again to show the exact statistic, but it was something like 75% of pages and channels don't succeed because they give up too early, and that it's just a matter of outlasting those bad periods or those times of lack of growth. And that's where you find success, is just outlasting those times of not success. So basically what I'm trying to say is that I hope that you just continue on your social media journey no matter what is happening. You are great, you are doing a perfect job, you have awesome content, and you can and will make it. You just need to get there. So I really hope that you enjoyed today's video. I am wishing nothing but the best for you. If you are trying to grow on Instagram, let me know in the comments down below. I am happy to go follow you and be another genuine friendship that you have on social media. So I am always looking for those. I really hope that you enjoyed today's video. I have a lot more tips on growing on social media and other income online ideas. So make sure you hit that subscribe button, and there's also that little bell that will notify you every time that I post. If that is something that you're interested in, I hope you have a fantastic rest of your week, and I will see you next time.